This is the story of a woman who turned humiliation into a $31.6 million beauty empire. At 22, she carried plates at a busy restaurant for tips that barely covered rent. With $89 in crumpled bills hidden in her apron, money earned one smile, one thank you, one exhausting shift at a time. 7 years later, she owned a beauty brand sold in 3,000 stores across 42 countries. But the numbers don't tell you about the customer who threw money at her feet, or the moment she decided her worth wasn't determined by how well she served others. It was determined by what she chose to create. Her name was Aria, and at 22, she knew the weight of every hour. 6 a.m. shifts at a downtown restaurant, carrying trays until her feet screamed and her smile felt painted on. Lunch rush, dinner rush, late-night drunks who thought tips bought the right to disrespect. She made $3.63 per hour plus tips. Good days meant $70. Bad days meant $23. The $89 folded in her apron pocket represented 3 days of work. Every smile she'd faked, every yes sir she'd swallowed when she wanted to scream. But Aria had a secret obsession. During bathroom breaks, she watched makeup tutorials on her cracked phone screen. She studied beauty influencers, building brands, selling products, creating empires from bedroom studios. She noticed which products they used, which ones they complained about, what was missing from the market. At night, after smelling like fryer grease and disappointment, she'd experiment with makeup in her tiny apartment bathroom. She mixed foundations, trying to find her perfect shade that didn't exist in stores. She created lip glosses from ingredients she researched obsessively. She was teaching herself chemistry and business, while the world saw her as just a waitress. One evening, a wealthy customer threw a $5 bill on the floor instead of handing it to her. "You missed our water refills twice," she said coldly, like Aria was a machine that malfunctioned. Aria picked up that $5 with shaking hands, smiled, and said, "My apologies." But inside, something broken, then rebuilt itself into something harder, stronger, angrier. That night, she made a vow. "I'm going to build something so successful that people like her will beg to buy from me." The breaking point came from her own reflection. After a brutal shift, Aria stared at herself in the bathroom mirror and realized the restaurant's harsh fluorescent lighting made everyone look terrible. But she also realized she'd been studying makeup and skincare for 3 years. She knew more than most experts with fancy degrees. She had $89. Not enough for anything real, but enough for a beginning. She spent $67 on raw ingredients from a beauty supply wholesaler. She spent the remaining $22 on small containers and labels she designed herself. In her kitchen, she created her first product, a foundation shade that actually matched medium skin tones, something the major brands consistently got wrong. She called it True Tone and made 12 bottles. She gave samples to coworkers, friends, the nail salon girls she'd befriended. Within 2 days, 5 people asked where they could buy more. She sold those 12 bottles for $18 each through Instagram, making $216 profit. More than 3 good tip days. Made in her kitchen during hours she should have been sleeping. The voice in her head screamed she was crazy. But another voice, quieter but growing, whispered, "What if this is your way out?" That first month, Aria made $437 selling homemade beauty products while still waitressing 70 hours a week. She reinvested every penny. Better ingredients, better packaging, better photos. She taught herself social media marketing through free YouTube videos at 3 a.m. At 23, her side business was making $2,000 monthly. Not enough to quit, but enough to breathe. She expanded her product line: lip glosses, highlighters, eyebrow products. Everything she created solved problems she'd personally experienced. Every product was tested on her own face first. By 24, her monthly revenue hit $12,000. She finally quit the restaurant. Her manager, who'd never learned her name in 2 years, said, "Good luck finding something better." Aria smiled and thought, "I already did. I built it myself." She rented a small studio space. hired a part-time assistant, another service worker, who understood the hunger. Her brand, Aria Beauty, became known for inclusive shades, quality ingredients, and honest prices from someone who understood what it meant to count every dollar. At 26, her annual revenue reached $3.8 million. Influencers were discovering her brand. Beauty stores were calling. Major retailers wanted meetings. The same industry that had ignored her was now competing for her attention. At 27, everything exploded like a supernova. A major beauty influencer, with 14 million followers, posted about Aria's foundation, calling it the best I've ever used. And it's from a former waitress who actually understands real women's skin. The website crashed from traffic. Orders flooded in faster than she could fulfill them. Within 1 week, she had to move into a proper manufacturing facility and hire 37 employees. Target called, Sephora called, Ulta called, international distributors called. Everyone wanted Aria Beauty on their shelves. She negotiated from a position she'd never imagined power. She remembered every moment she'd felt powerless carrying plates, and she made sure her contracts reflected her worth. By 28, her products were in 3,000 stores across 42 countries. Her team grew to 168 employees. Revenue reached $18.4 million. She'd created 237 products, each one still tested to her original standards. She didn't just build a beauty brand, she built a movement. Her marketing showed real women with real skin. Her prices were fair because she remembered being broke. Her hiring priority was service workers and people overlooked by the corporate beauty world. At 29, her beauty empire was valued at $31.6 million. She owned 83% of her company, kept control, refused to be diluted. The waitress with $18 in her apron had built something the beauty industry couldn't ignore. One afternoon, Aria was doing a store appearance at a high-end beauty retailer when she saw her, the customer, the one who'd thrown the $5 bill on the floor years ago. The woman was buying Aria Beauty products, piling her basket with foundations, lip glosses, highlighters. She didn't recognize Aria. Why would she? Service workers are invisible. Aria introduced herself as the brand founder. The woman's face went confused, then slowly, horrifyingly, recognition crept in. Wait, you used to. I used to serve you, Aria said calmly. You threw money at my feet once because I was too slow with your water refills. Thank you. That $5 bill helped fund my first product batch. You taught me that my value wasn't in how well I served you, it was in what I could create. So, genuinely, thank you. What Aria learned changed, not just her bank account, but her entire soul. 1. Your current position is not your worth. The apron came off. The empire builder was always underneath, waiting for permission to rise. 2. Every time someone treats you as less than, they're giving you fuel. Use it. Let their doubt become your determination. 3. The best products come from people who've lived the problem. Her beauty empire succeeded because she understood what real women needed because she was one. 4. You don't need permission from the industry. You need a problem to solve and the courage to solve it yourself. 5. 70-hour work weeks, serving others taught her work ethic, but working 70 hours for herself taught her power. 6. The people who threw money at your feet will eventually pay premium prices for what you create. That's not revenge, that's justice. Subscribe for more tips to empire transformations. Comment below with one product or business idea you've been afraid to start. Share this with every service worker who deserves to know their worth isn't measured in tips. Your beauty empire starts tonight. Create it while they sleep. Build it while they doubt.